Let the fun begin. So, as soon as I hit record, I can't talk. This is Stephen Sashin from Xero Shoes, xeroshoes.com, Xeroshoes.com, and I am thrilled to be here with Bill Johnson. I just pointed this way because I'm seeing Bill in front of me. You're seeing him onto one side or the other. I don't even know which side. And the reason that I invited Bill to this chat was it's not uncommon that when I tell people what I do, and that I'm involved in this whole barefoot running thing or minimalist running or the fact that I run at all because I'm a Masters All-American sprinter at the age of 53, they will say things to me like, well, I used to run in high school, but I can't anymore because my knees are shot because I'm old. Or I never ran and I'd like the idea of running, but I can't run because fill in the blank, I'm old. And I'm 53, Bill is 70. And we want to have a little chat about what it's like to be a runner and a barefoot runner at the age of 70. And I promise you, you will learn things regardless of your age and regardless of whether you wear shoes or you're running barefoot or anything in between. We're going to have some fun and you will discover some wonderful things. So, hello, Bill.
Hello, Stephen. Glad to join you today.
Thank you, thank you. So, give me in a nutshell your running history, assuming you have a running history.
Well, I was a very active kid, loved to run with baseball shoes, loved to ride the bicycle, and I went out for a year of track.
Hold on, I just like how you said, hold on, I like how you said ride the bicycle, as if there was only one in the entire town, and
Pretty much, my brother and I had to share it.
There you go.
One for regular, and then the other one for hills, that was a Schwinn.
Oh, brilliant.
When that was broken, we disconnected, so we had one speed, and we shared it. That's what we had. We didn't have much.
Got it. So the bicycle is accurate.
People have much more. But I did one sophomore year in high school. I ran track, and then I ran cross country. I was a miler in track. I didn't like it. Quit. I got drafted in '69. I had to do basic training, which required running, despite the fact that I had spent 5 years in college trying to avoid being drafted. But, I ran the mile, second fastest guy in the company, and this is again, 18 and 19-year-olds that had just gotten out of high school. And I was a, relatively hefty, beer-drinking, smoking soldier. And then I gave it up. And I didn't start running until I was age 40.
So why did you start again at 40?
Didn't feel all that great. I was having some issues with digestive problems, nerves. I was having migraine headaches and whatever. And I thought, it's time to get in shape. I'm going to turn 40, so let's start biking and running. My wife bought me a bike for my birthday. I started running the following year. I ran my first triathlon.
So wait, hold on. So first of all, I love the idea that you weren't feeling well and you got the idea I need to get in shape and I need to start doing something rather than I need to find a pill or whatever. Not a common thought, frankly. And then so now you had your bike, not the bike. This one was yours. But wait, so a year after you made this decision, you did a try?
Yeah, I did a try. I actually had done I think a 5K before that.
Well, yeah, because that's the normal progression, 5K triathlon.
I went on a business trip to Minneapolis, and we were partying, smoking the whole thing, came back, went to the track. My wife and I and daughter were sitting there. They thought I was going to die. We did an hour 36. That was a sprint.
Okay.
So it wasn't bad. We were sitting along there, wasn't a whiskey smoke anywhere, and I thought, maybe I should quit smoking. I did. So I did, but I got the triathlon fever. I have competed in 38 of them since then.
Wow.
And done 17 marathons, and I can't tell you how many other halves in shorter races. I have no idea. The furthest I've ever run is 38 miles. And most all of this stuff was run in shoe coffins. A word that you coined.
Well, foot coffins, yeah. So you started running in foot coffins, and what made you, at what point, and what was the thing that made you go, and contemplate doing something different?
Well, I was having some trouble with an arch and an ankle, and I was having difficulties, so I went to a podiatrist who then put me in orthotics.
What a shock.
And really stiff shoes, because I have very flat feet, flat arches. I grew up that way, yeah, and I was
me too.
I had to have steel supports and high arches and all stuff. They had more plantar fasciitis and stuff than you could.
Well, let's pause there. I mean, so and I also flat feet my whole life. You know, my little birth certificate with my feet on it looked like paddles, and I used to get out of the
Yes.
swimming pool looked like paddles. And it's not that you needed those things. This became a de facto treatment because they assumed that flat feet were a problem, and that the correction was support and not something like strength. And so, anyway, that's be that as it may.
Yes.
So,
For the good of your feet, you know.
well,
So
yeah,
anyway, so I got these big old cloppy shoes with the inserts, and I didn't run any faster. I didn't feel any better. I couldn't change shoes. If I did change shoes, then the support wouldn't fit.
right,
Didn't fit my regular. So you could go on and on. So this isn't really what I'm thinking I need to do. So over time, I thought, lighter is better. So I started thinking, they say you're supposed to. So I actually tried another pair of running shoes. I forget the brand I was using. I think they were ASICs, and they were lighter. And even though they said they were for a certain high arch foot sprinter type person, when I was a plodding, heel striking, slow runner,
right.
I actually was not slow. I was doing 7 miles or whatever. But so I said, this is not working for me. So I started going lighter and lighter, and as I progressed and we got faster and faster with lighter and lighter, I got to the point where the shoes they didn't feel all that well. About age 63, 7 years old, I decided I'm going to try some of these minimalist shoes. They're really super lightweight, changed the running style. Really hadn't quite gotten to the idea of barefoot running. And actually, I didn't really do a lot of barefoot running because of the surface that I run in woods, rocks, twigs, and all that
Broken
stuff.
glass, hypodermic
Those-
needles.
those piece of the- And of course, as I'm aging. So at any rate, I did have a fall on some ice about 5 years ago, which really changed my attitude because now I had to have surgery in my ankle. My back is cracked. I have dehydrated discs. I have a bulging disc. It was S1, L5.
Yeah, well, look,
So I'm not supposed to be able to run.
yeah,
Right?
wait, I don't want to play Can You Top This, but I don't have a disc between L5 and S1. So yeah, as a gymnast, I apparently broke my spine about 30 years ago, and where there should be a disc, it's just like, A, it's, just bone on bone, and B, it's way out of whack. And same thing, I've got doctors who say you can't, you shouldn't be able to run, and I say, well, I'm also doing a lot of weightlifting to get stronger for running. They go, well, we prefer you not do that. And I go, well, I'm doing things like deadlifting 400 pounds, and they go, what? So they get really mad about that.
If you're in shape, though, it's amazing. If you're in shape, I run and I swim and I bike.
Yeah.
Now at 70, because I feel the best. I have the least amount of issues. My wife reminds me to stand tall, shoulders back, stuck in my stomach. Yes, do all the good
Yeah.
things. But I fell and I had the cartilage on the talus in my ankle.
Right.
I wound up through, I don't know, half years of therapy. I had therapy before I wound up with surgery. The surgery, that the cartilage all fell off, so it's gone. So I said to the doctors, Patrick McKenzie, who's a Packers medical director, the Green Bay Packers medical
Yeah, yeah.
director, he's lived north of it. And he said, well, you should be okay because you really do run mostly on the outside of your foot. But I had other doctors say, you're running with your back issues and all that stuff. I don't think you should be doing that. So the reason I stuck to the barefoot running is Born to Run, big motivator.
Right.
Read the book. I was already doing this without even knowing
Right.
about speed, but then I did change my stride. I moved over my feet.
So say more about that. What did you notice? I mean, after reading the book, you had this idea about stride, and when you say you went over your feet, can you say more about what you were feeling, what that experiment was like, what you discovered, just anything more about that?
First of all, it's so much softer than landing on your heels.
Right.
You can have all the cushioning in the world, and I know that all it does is transform it makes the cushioning different in your body's natural gait. And of course, if you wear a cushioned shoe with a downward, forward slope, you can't really forefoot run. And forefoot running, I found I'm faster, so much happier. It is like running like a kid. One thing I discovered, I don't like running on the black rubberized track.
Right.
because my wife makes me wear socks around the house because I can't get the black stuff off my feet. So the sandals are perfect.
Well, I want to back up. Something you just said I love, which is that, it's much more fun. One of the things that I've said that's so funny about barefoot and genuine minimalist runners, and I say genuine minimalist because there are a lot of shoes that are sold as minimalist shoes that are really just shoes, and people don't actually change their stride, change their gait when they're in them. So I want to make that clarification. But when you see someone who has this form that you're talking about, getting over your feet, midfoot or forefoot landing, you can spot that cadence, you can spot that gait from a mile away. And every time I see someone doing that, there's something else they're doing. They're smiling. I've literally never seen someone who is running barefoot, especially, who isn't smiling when they're doing it.
Of course, naturally, people have seen me running, and over the years, I've always smiled. I am my happiest when I run. It's good mentally. I mean, it's good exercise just to have the aerobics. But these shoes, the sandals, I'm wearing the Z's, and I love those because I can wear, when I go traveling, I have my running shoes, I have my casual shoes, I have my wading shoes, I have my walking shoes. I even walk on my 4 feet.
Yeah.
More so now than there are times I'll, heel walk, but I do wear regular shoes on occasion so people aren't distracted. I found that my toenails and my feet are healthier. My feet don't stink when I wear sandals. There's just everything about it. I wish I had discovered this many years ago because I wouldn't have these toenails and foot issues developed over the years because of the poor shoes that I had. I mean, the nails, I've had bruised toenails also. You don't get that with sandals or barefoot running. You don't get that stuff.
No.
You don't damage. You don't get. I don't know if Morton's neuroma is related to shoes. I think it is. There's so many things that you have problems with running with shoes. So I love the sandals. Unfortunately, in the winter, I have to wear. I wear these New Balance that are really thin. And I only wear them because I have to wear spikes.
Oh my gosh.
At 70, falling is not a good thing.
Yeah.
But I would say one more good thing about sandals and barefoot running. In triathlons, the transition time, it's gone. Your bike is gone.
Well, backing up to something you said before about going lighter and lighter, Ron Hill, who won, I think, the 10K, if I'm remembering correctly, in Mexico City, barefoot. And someone said to him, "Why'd you run barefoot?" And he said, "It was the lightest pair of shoes I could find."
Yeah, it is. I've had people, when I do this YMCA thing, I am the only person out there that I've seen so far with sandals. And I'm the only person I've seen that runs with shoes. I ran in a turkey trot last fall, took first place in the 70-year age group. I had to go in the woods, and it was a nature call. But I beat the guys that were with me. I'm in my sandals. They're looking at me. It's like 36 degrees. It's been raining. It's nasty weather here. I'm in my sandals. Aren't you cold?
What'd you say? Yeah.
I'm not cold. I'm just fine. Run.
It's one of the things that's so funny for me now that I've been barefooter in Xeros for egads, it's about 7 years, I guess. And when I go out and when it's cold, here we are in Colorado, it's now April 29th and we're getting 6 inches of snow, it's 32 degrees out. My hands get freezing, my feet totally fine.
Yes, I find that as well.
Interesting.
I would say that I have quite a number of your sandals. I've given a couple pair away. They weren't quite what I wanted, so I reordered. So I think I counted it's 10. My wife asked me how many I had. I said, I'm not quite sure. I don't remember.
Just a couple.
Yeah, and I have some to make in case I tear them. I tore my first pair, and I got that shoe goo.
Right.
And glued them right back together. I couldn't believe it.
Well, this is one of my other favorite things. You said, I wish I knew about this earlier, and it's amazing that people didn't, considering that this idea of running in sandals is a few thousand years old. That this is mankind's oldest footwear. And my favorite thing when people, especially if they make their own, is I say it's like developing a superpower, knowing how you can make your own footwear. Because it really is like there's a sense of empowerment of if push comes to shove and I'm somewhere where I need protection from my feet, I know how to go find materials where I can make my own. I also call this the post-zombie apocalypse career change. If you're the only one who can do it, you're set. And I've met people who, after they made their first pair of shoes, it just enlivened them. They got this idea of what else can I do? And aside from starting to make all different kinds of minimalist sandals or shoes, they also just started making other things. And so, I do have it on me. Wait, hold on. So someone emailed me early on, and he said, if you're into this whole DIY thing and this whole minimal thing, here's some plans for making your own wallet out of a FedEx envelope. So I've made my own wallet out of a FedEx envelope. There's actually a guy who makes Tyvek wallets, and he sells them. This is his business. And his are much bigger. What'd you do? Wait, hold it up. I got to see.
This?
Yeah, great. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's super thin.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like Tyvek.
see?
Are you my younger brother?
Exactly. Well, I can't do this part as well as you can.
It's got to be gray.
Yeah, no, trust me, it's pretty gray if I let it go. But I met the guy who's got a business of doing Tyvek wallets, and his are much bigger, and they have more pockets that you don't need. And I said, hey, I was inspired by you, and I came up with this design. He goes, can I see how you did that? I went, no. So,
Sell them.
well, I'm not going to sell them, but one of these days I'll put the plans for how you can take and this is like 4 years old. I mean, it looks kind of ratty because it's 4 years old.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It's actually better than mine because mine has stitching in it, and that kind of wears off.
Oh, funny. Yeah,
I wanted to go back and just for any potential listeners to our video is that I run into a lot of people that complain about their plantar fasciitis,
Right.
their knees, their ankles, their hips, and all these other little things they have going wrong. And then they look at me when I said, I'm 70 years old, and I'm running this way because I feel good. It makes me feel better. If you try it, I think you'll find you'll like it. And don't be embarrassed to go out and do it. I mean, I'm proof in the pudding. 7 years old. So
no, it's great.
I can't say any more than that, Steve.
No, and I'll tell you, I think that we're going to have a bigger collection of people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond running healthily, running enjoyably, or even if they're not running, walking, hiking, just living better because you're actually using your feet. I mean, there's no other part of your body where if you went to the doctor and said, hey, my wrist is hurting, and they said, well, we're going to put you in a brace for the rest of your life. I mean, you'd run out screaming. Or even worse, if you walked in and said, my neck is hurting, and they go, well, we're going to put you in a wrist brace for the rest of your life. It's like, wait, what? But that's what happens with footwear. It's like, my feet are hurting, we'll put you in an orthotic. My hips are hurting, we'll put you in an orthotic. I mean, this idea of immobilizing your body as a treatment is just mind-blowing to me.
And this barefoot running is so gentle and
Yeah.
natural to the body. Just reading or watching Goshen's movie is well worth the time. I have that. So
Wait, hold on. I have it sitting right here because we've got International Barefoot Running Day on May 1st this year, and we were going to have a big run, but we're going to have about a foot of snow on the ground. So everyone's coming over here. We're going to have some beer, have some food, watch Goshen, talk about running. We'll talk about it more than we can run up and down the hall in our office a little bit.
There you go.
So
I should jump on a plane and come out and join you.
That'd be great.
Unfortunately, my second career keeps me way too busy. So.
Well, I want to back up. So if you were giving someone instructions on other than just try it, what else would you say to someone who wanted to just try it and didn't know how to begin?
Well, it is a change in style and form, so you really need to treat it the same way you would like to treat a new pair of shoes.
Right.
If you're running 10 miles on your old pair, you don't put the new pair running 10 miles. Go out and just enjoy it and try it. Wait a day, see if there's any issues or whatever, and then start switching it over like you do a brand new pair of shoes. I don't see it any different.
And would you give anyone specific comments about form or technique?
Well, if you get to your forefoot,
Mm-hmm.
you're landing on your forefoot, your feet are going to be underneath you. And I think that was pointed out is you really don't see your feet.
Well, those are two things that I want to clarify or comment on, because I literally remember vividly the first time I was taking a run with someone who had heard about this idea of barefoot running and heard that you're supposed to land on your forefoot, and I'm running next to her and she's reaching out with her foot, like, prancing and landing with her foot way in front of her. Yeah, I made that same face. It's like, what are you doing? So
What a quick way to injure yourself.
absolutely, it's the fastest way to get a metatarsal stress fracture because you're putting so much force on as you're applying braking forces on your foot bones, which are not designed for that. But in fact, that's one of those things where I hear doctors say, "Oh, I met all these people who tried barefoot running and they got stress fractures." I go, "Did you videotape them and look at their form?" Because I bet they had this same idea that you're supposed to reach out with your foot the same way you are if you're heel striking, but then just put your toes down. So the notion that you can't see your feet, that's a good cue. I like that one.
Yeah. If you can't see, I mean, on occasion I might if I'm going up the hill or whatever.
Right.
But I really don't see my feet.
Mm-hmm.
My stride, I haven't really measured. I have to say something nice about my Garmin watch. It tells me how much time I'm spending on each foot and
So-
all those other things. It has all these little technical
So
things.
wait, let's add another thing. 7 years old, barefoot runner, geek.
Yes. Right. I love the beer.
Well, that too.
A little on the heavy side. I'm going to
Blah, blah,
kind
blah.
of dropping 20 pounds for the try this summer.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't rain because they do not bite when it's raining.
No, that makes sense.
But
So,
I'll run in anything.
having not seeing your feet, that's a good cue. I mean, the only thing we can do on video without actually seeing someone is give them cues, give them things to think about as they're trying. So run so that you don't see your feet, which means you're getting them underneath you. Barefoot Ken Bob Saxon, he's got a line which is let your body move forward and have your feet try to catch up to you, but don't let them. So it's sort of like
Yes.
Fred Flintstone.
Yes.
That's one that's fun. Danny Dreyer from Chi Running, his is make sure your ankle is closer to you than your knee when you land. So
Yeah.
that's another good one. Do you have any? Would you give any instruction or any tips about things like cadence or anything else?
I think you'll find this is from the 70-year-old Barefoot Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I find my cadence increases. So I run with a higher cadence. My cadence is probably around 170, 180.
So,
And it's
so
70 also. I'm turning over.
Right.
It doesn't bother me. I don't even really notice it. It just feels like I'm going like a bat out of you know what. And
Well-
I'm not. I look at my at my pace, and I might be 8:30, 8:20, but by the time the summer's over, I anticipate being sub 8s without
Sweet.
issues. So, yeah.
Well, the research shows that as you pick up your cadence, which just means that your turnover is faster without moving faster, that there's sort of a curve about force, that if you start to pick up your cadence, the force that you're applying to the ground drops, and at a certain point it starts to pick up again, and that's why sprinters are applying massive amounts of force to the ground.
Yes.
But I found there's an adjustment period to get used to the faster cadence and the less force, because we're so used to plodding and plopping and
Yes,
landing
yes.
instead of moving across the ground.
I do find when I am running at the quick cadence and it's early in my run
Yeah.
that I may be not getting quite the speed.
Mm.
As I warm up, all of a sudden, I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of speed I start generating. And that's when I get well below the 9-minute per mile pace, which
Right.
I used to think was plodding. But, and I don't mind. Well, let's put it this way. I compete. Every race I go to, I've never not finished. That was one rule.
Nice.
There's no DNFs allowed, not finish. And we're always trying to improve, if not place.
Nice.
It happens when I'm first.
You know there's a whole Masters track and field scene, yeah? Do you know this? And so do you compete in any of the track races, or are you just doing tries and road races?
I am a long distance runner.
But they'll do 5Ks and 10Ks as part of the Masters track stuff
Some
too.
of those, yes.
Okay.
Try to stick near home.
Okay.
So some of the stuff is near Madison. There's a group there. It's a group in Milwaukee. In the Green Bay, the Fox Valley, where the Vapor Valley is, there are possibly some groups there. But I generally try. There's so many races up here in Door County. There's an event called Run the Door, and they have events starting this. They already started. No, the first one is tomorrow morning. It's called the Blossom Run, and it's in a place called Egg Harbor. It's in Door County, and then we go all the way through to the turkey trot, which I won my frozen turkey last fall at the event I was telling you about. So there are a series of runs, including the Door County Triathlon, which is absolutely gorgeous. This weekend we have a race The following weekend we have the York County Half Marathon, which is one of the best half marathons in the country. It's been rated so. It's scenic. It's nasty, Bill. I'm not quite ready for it. I don't want to overdo the ankle yet. I'm still in the rebuilding phase because I was kind of down and out for about a year. The doctor said no competing for a year because he knew my personality was extremely competitive. So that I passed it up last fall. So now we're going to go at it again.
He probably knew that you only needed 6 months off, but if he told you to take a year off, it would turn into 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he didn't want me competing because I'm lacking the cartilage. He told my wife when I came out of surgery that I probably wouldn't run again. I'd be lucky if I was walking. However, because of the condition I am in, I'm in very good condition for a 70-year-old because I've kept healthy and exercise. And I hope my example will help some of my friends. I think they look at, oh, you can do this. And yes.
Well, I'm gonna try and start a competition. I know we've got some people who Xero Shoes wears, or we like to call them foxes, friends of Xero, who are older than you are. So yes. We'll try and get some more people, but they're all finding the same thing that you found, which is so exciting for us. Yes. And I'll tell you, there's a weird personal story version of this. My dad was sort of the opposite. As he got older, he got less and less fit. He was always wearing shoes, and he just became someone who shuffled. And this is now maybe about 9 months ago. It was 9 months ago, almost to the day. Now that I think of it. He was shuffling somewhere, tripped on something, fell down, broke his hip, and 3 weeks later was dead. And so for us,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, for us, it's not that it's our mission to help elderly people keep or regain their balance, but we see the value of that, and it is one of our missions. Really, it's just not the only one. And I'm just amazed when I see people as they age. Getting in bigger, thicker shoes, getting on walkers, becoming less and less mobile when there is another option.
Well, all I can tell you, Steve, is I have the back issue we spoke about it. I had the ankle surgery. I had shingles in my sciatic nerve down my left leg. They didn't think I would come out of that, but I was running before, I ran after. I have worked with many, many coworkers and friends to help them train for marathons, just to learn how to run. I've been an organizer of a running group at our local YMCA. We go out to trails. I have done lots of things. I was an all-state healthy American back in 1989, I think it was, 88. Selected out of 58,000 employees, I was one of 10. They took down to Texas to celebrate it with some other dignitaries that were also nominated in the public sector.
Oh, that's great.
So I've been involved in sports, change from being a smoker to a non-smoker and a healthy athlete at 70.
I love it. Well, Bill, I just want to thank you for taking the time to chat. I knew and I hope that your story will inspire a lot of people, especially people who are just getting started or thinking they can't get started, or thinking that there's some obstacle that they've made up for getting started, because there are none that I can think of. And you're just an absolute treat. So I want to thank you for all your support as well, and just thank you for your time and sharing everything that you've shared.
Mike will send me a packet of cards. I'll pass them out at every race for every wise guy.
Very kind of you. I think I can make that happen.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, well, take care, Bill. Looking forward to what's next.
I'm so old-fashioned. I always cut names apart.
It's okay. It's not a problem. But we want to see pictures of the races from this season and see how you're doing, and see that smile on your face.
Awesome. I did send you a link to some of to that one group. I don't know if you got it.
Oh, yeah, I did. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes.
Cool.
So I will send you pictures.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to what's next, man. Thanks again.
Yeah. You're welcome. Take
care.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You have a good day.
You
Bye-bye.
too.